Okay, so your Facebook ad is either not spending money or not spending all of the budget allocated to it, or maybe it was spending money and it's not spending money anymore, and in all of these cases you're wondering, what should I do next? I'm Feli from Plai, and I'm gonna be going over some of the common root causes for these issues. So first use case, the campaign has been launched but it doesn't have any information at all, it never ran. So the first thing you want to ask yourself is, when was this campaign launched and do we have any history of campaigns launched in this account? Why is this important? Because whenever you launch a campaign, it will go through an approval process, right? This might take a few hours, sometimes a full day, even 48 hours. And that is because if your account has been active in Meta, launching campaigns and so on, it will probably go through a more streamlined approval process. Whereas if the account is brand new, the ad account, and you have never launched a single campaign, it will most likely go through a manual process, which is a bit longer, but it shouldn't take that long. So the first thing you want to check is probably the start date of the campaign. Now, if all looks proper on that end, the second place you want to check out is the business support home. Because maybe your ad has been rejected, maybe you have any sort of issue with your account, any policy break, any kind of issue of that sort. And for that, in the business support home, you'll find any of your ad accounts, any issues that are active or resolved. I do recommend clicking around a bit, like tapping on this view my accounts over here, examining that your accounts don't show any issues, and exploring them basically to see if anything comes up. Same, for example, in this case, this ad account has been restricted basically because there is an unpaid balance. You'll find these sort of notifications in red whenever an outstanding issue is found. The third area that you want to check is actually the billing hub, where you'll find your payment methods, your payment thresholds, and basically everything that has to do with paying your bills with Meta. Now, this is a personal account, which is why you see it in this way. I'm gonna then show how this looks if you have a business manager account with a personal portfolio. In here, you'll find the payment method you got. Sometimes, for some reason, Visa glitches a bit, so I always recommend doing either MasterCard or American Express, any other kind of card. You'll find also your payment thresholds. You'll also find this account spending limit. What you basically want to take into account with this is that if you set up an account spending limit that is too low, once it's reached, it will basically make all of your campaigns stop, because you will have said to Meta, stop spending money as soon as you reached a certain amount of money, Usually Meta will give you some notification like of this sort, for example, if the payment method is unverified. And keep in mind that it can be a bit glitchy, so sometimes Meta asks for verification over and over again, so simply refresh the page after verifying and check if it's still asking for it. So this is how it looks when you are on the business portfolio kind of mode from this dropdown. This means that you have a professional account that allows you to have a pixel and all sorts of different stuff. All that you need is a business.facebook.com account. Now, what usually happens a lot is, as well, on the billing and payments tab, people go into the payment methods tab and add a payment method over here. But the truth is that this will not actually impact on the ad account that you want to use. You actually want to go into account level and make sure that you add a payment method in this specific ad account that you want to use. In the same way as before, you can go into the actual ad account and check that you have a account spending limit or any kind of thing in there that could be kind of preventing your ads from spending. Now, another common issue you might find is when you go too narrow on the targeting. Think of single zip codes, for example, or just a few zip codes in a low populated area. Think of old retargeting audiences which may have expired, or which might be, on the contrary, too recent, so they might not have enough of an audience built up in there to kind of run. Think of also exclusions. When you add too many exclusions into an audience targeting, it might also be an issue in there preventing you from running that campaign. And also when you have, for example, many narrowing down clauses dropped into your campaigns, that can actually impact your campaign, because you actually want to go for kind of a broad enough targeting for your campaign to be able to run effectively. Maybe you have a really niche down strategy, but even if you do, with the latest Andromeda update, most likely you want to be letting Meta's AI find your audience instead of manually doing all of the narrowing down and configuration all from your end. Now, if none of the previous points apply to you, maybe you have a creative problem. If there is low engagement with the creatives that you have selected, meaning images and videos do not attract people, do not get them to click and so on, Meta might limit the reach of your ads or even stop them from running altogether. In those cases, basically what you want to do is jump into your campaign, add a bunch of new creatives, or even pause it all together, take some time to generate some new content in there, and then relaunch over there. This can happen for a variety of reasons, from the creatives maybe running for a long time and your audience getting exhausted from them, so they are no longer attractive to them. It can also happen because of weak headlines or call to actions. Maybe your audience is not engaged with the wording phrasing that you chose for it. Maybe because also of a pure visual hierarchy. Or maybe simply because you're lacking the proper marketing angle, the proper hook, or any of those, more creative oriented issues. And with Andromeda's latest update, this last issue is probably something that you're gonna be seeing a bit more of. That's why here at Plai we have a lot of different creative options to generate multiple ads, either with Nano Banana, with smart creatives, with AI, with our meme generator, even UGC ads with multiple, models and options and accents and everything, and more template-based creatives, which actually look amazing. And so we always recommend generate a bunch of them, whether on the campaign or on the Creative Hub. And once you launch your campaign, remember that you can actually set a creative library for them to run into your campaign and optimize automatically. It's called the Creative Bank. You'll find it on the Optimization and Insights tab. All you need to do is add all the images that you want to use for this. So in here I have all these dogs, for example, and all the videos. You can add up to 50 of these. You tap on save and start testing, and the AI will start rotating them in automatically as soon as your ads get exhausted, or as soon as, they do not find that they're performing as well as they could be. And that's all for now. Remember that you can reach out to us with any questions you might have, and also that you can sign up to our office hours and send your questions in advance so that we can cover these and more questions that you got.